Good morning, Two Slips and a Gully fans. Aaron here again with a review of the first day of the World Test Championship final. And what a day it is if you're an Australian fan. 3 for 327 overnight. Stephen Smith, 95 not out. Travis Head, first overseas Test 100, 146 not out. An absolute game change from Travis Head. He is establishing himself as one of the dominant forces in world cricket over these last 18 months. Not only the way that he's come in and scored runs, but just how he's gone about it. Leading the World Test Championship cycle in strike rate. He is, we're all talking about Bazball and it having a name. Travis Head's been doing that now for 18 months without any fanfare or anything like that. He's just come in and playing his game, and wow, what a day for an Australian. It started off India winning the toss, deciding to bowl first on overcast conditions with a greenish pitch. I thought initially when they won the toss it was a really brave call. The oval tends to, especially when the sun comes out, and it's predicted for most of this week that it's going to be high 20s, lots of sunshine, that it turns into a bit of a flat batting track and then spins a bit later. That not only was the decision to bowl first brave, but the decision to leave the number one test bowler, Ravi Ashwin, out was also a big one. I think they've gotten a little bit too preoccupied with the juke ball swinging, the overhead conditions and how green it looked, and they've made their decision for the game based on the one day or the one morning by the middle of the second session, the sun was out, batting became rather straightforward, and I think they've picked a side and made their decision at the toss based on that first 3 hours of the game as opposed to the full 5 days. And to be fair, India bowled reasonably well. Some patches of brilliance, but the other times that they weren't too great. Despite what the commentators think, I actually thought Mohammad Shami was poor up front. His lines are okay, but his length was way too short. He wasn't putting enough pressure on the outside edges of the bat. Warner was quite happy getting onto the back foot and covering most of it off. He was too straight, so not sort of attacking that outside edge of David Warner when he went around the wicket. Mohammad Siraj was brilliant. He was the pick of the Indian bowlers all day. Absolutely brilliant. Came in with a mid 140s for most of the day. Really peppered the Aussies. When things got a bit stale, he went to the short ball. He was nipping the ball around. Mohammad Siraj, he is trending to be an absolute titan fast bowler of world cricket. He's got all the skills. He's got the real fast bowler's edge about him. Like he's a bit of a mean fast bowler. I think he could be something sort of like India's Dale Steyn. I don't think he's got quite that level of skill and level of speed, but he's just that guy that when you need to turn it up, he'll turn it up. He can move the ball off the seam or through the air, and he can bowl that heavy ball. He's just that multi-tool player that Steyn was for South Africa, and he's just got that mean streak about him. I thought he had a real champion day in what turned out to be a pretty dour day for the Indian bowling attack. But take nothing away from the Aussie batsmen. They came out, they were under a bit of pressure, 3 for 70 odd. Smith, I think, scored all close to his slowest Test 50, almost 150 balls to bring it up. But Travis Head, when he came out, I think he was 28 off 18 at one point, just loving life. They ended up pegging him back, sort of tucking him up around his ribs and bowling some short stuff. But whenever they gave him any width or any length, he went after it, and just what a supreme 100 from Travis Head. Absolutely phenomenal work for a guy that we were talking about, a year ago, leading into the last Ashes series. Whether or not he gets his spot at 5 and who goes in there, he has just gone from that point onwards and close to the best batsman in the world since that point. And this is huge for him. I think his highest score before this in England was 50, and here we are now staring down the barrel of a double century with plenty of time left in the game. The way that he bats, but big score. So what do India need to do to get back into it? Pretty simple. They need, in the first hour tomorrow, need to pick up a couple of wickets. Australia 3 for 320. They're on their way to a really, really big score. It looks like it's going to be pretty conducive to batting for a long period of the game. So India need to get in, take some wickets early, put some pressure back on the Australian lower order, knock them over and get in there. And then they've got to do the same thing. Not only do they need to bat, but if they need to bat with a bit of intent, get the game rolling forward to set the game up for the third and fourth innings. It's as simple as that, really. They've got to knock over Smith and Head, I would say, in the first hour. They've got the new ball. It's 5 overs old. So there's still a bit to use early on. But that's as simple as what it is. They have to take early wickets. They've got to make some serious impressions in the first hour. If Smith and Head are still batting at the end of, at the drinks break later on tonight, for us, or later on today, India are in a lot of trouble. Australia's going to put on a really, really, really big score and potentially bat them out of the game. So that at that point, that India are staving off defeat rather than pushing for a victory. But again, you can't really judge a wicket until both teams have played on it. India have got lots and lots of really talented batting in that lineup. If they go with a similar sort of intent and can get the runs flowing at a similar sort of speed to the Aussies, they can play themselves back into the game. But I do think they've missed a trick going without Ashwin. I would have been tempted to go probably Ashwin over Yadav. I think Thakur did enough. He was good at times and bad at times, but I think his ability to genuinely swing the ball, especially troubled Labuschagne and Smith early on. I think he's retained his spot. He's not bad with the bat either. Lengthens that batting lineup. I think they've missed the trick not picking Ashwin. So especially with the Oval probably going to spin a lot days 4 and 5. Pushing for that to defend that fourth innings score. I think they've missed a trick there. So Jadeja's going to have a lot of work to do later on in his test match with the ball. For the Aussies, business as usual. Travis Head, just keep going out doing Travis Head things. Smith going out doing Steve Smith things. If they lose any wickets early, Green, Carey, just need to consolidate, get themselves to, close to 500, declare and let the bowlers go to work. Australia need to be prepared to be driven early. I think that's the one thing that India weren't prepared to do, was prepared to be driven. They were just a bit too back of a length, especially Shami was a bit too back of a length, didn't trouble the outside edge. If Stark and Bolland and Cummins are prepared to pitch the ball up early on while it's doing a bit, grab some outside edges, they could get themselves right in the game. But really great day. It's one of the first times that I've done one of these as an Australian playing India, where I've been happy with how the day has gone. India have usually had the wood over, so it's good to get in there, get those conditions, see some big runs from Head and Smith. Really good. Can't wait for tonight. I hope the boys go on. Hope a big score from Travis Head. Knock out a double 100. Smith getting close to it as well. Really just run the Indians ragged in the field, get out and knock over a few of them later on tomorrow night. Until next time, guys, I'll see you for day 2. Bye for now.